Rob Reiner's son is expected to make his first appearance in court later this morning.
Nick Reiner was arrested on suspicion of murder yesterday in the stabbing deaths of his parents. Fox 5 legal expert Wendy Patrick joining us now with the very latest. It's so hard to believe that this happened, Wendy.
You know, Hollywood heartbreak, you're absolutely right. However, with practical implications. When you talk about drug addiction and mental health, think about all the families across the nation that can relate personally to a story like this. So as heartbreaking as murder is to begin with, especially stabbing, which is up close and personal, then you also have to think how many families are thinking about also having children that are struggling with some of those issues. So it's just heartbreaking all around.
Yeah, you talk about the struggle, and there's reports coming out now that his parents were just really at wit's end with what he was going through. Today's court hearing, what are we going to see him?
We don't know, and that's the thing with cases like this that have so much attention, is there are a lot of things that may come into play in deciding, you know, what charges to file and how public to have this hearing, whether to allow cameras in the courtroom. We're so used to covering federal cases where there are no cameras in the courtroom that we have to remember, you know, when you have a regular California state case, that's an option. But whatever happens today, one thing that distinguishes this case from so many others is because it's a Hollywood family, there's so much attention being drawn to some of the issues that are going to be involved, that you can imagine there's a lot more transparency. Now, why do I say that with this particular case? Remember that this is out in the open. Right. You know, the defendant to be, you know, the accused, Nick, has already gone public years ago with the struggles he was facing. He was making a movie, made a movie about it with his father. You know, we have these photos that you can see there on the screen of him in younger years. Now, contrast what you're seeing now with the one that was taken just several months ago. And that gives you an idea sort of how this type of a disease progressed. He started the rehab in and out at age 15, and he himself cited about 18 different stints, some of which ended up resulting in homelessness rather than go back to rehab.
Just a tragedy all around. The charges here, murder, what kind of charges are we looking
he's
at?
arrested on, he was booked on murder charges. Right. Now, what you'll probably have to see is whether that's going to end up being murder one, murder two, manslaughter, and all of that's going to be something that's worked out by the prosecutors in the Los Angeles jurisdiction. But whatever it ends up being, what we're going to find out, and this will be in court, not in the court of public opinion, is what were the facts and circumstances that are surrounding this case being brought together. We've all got to be patient, can't rush to judgment, but when we do start having court appearances, then we're going to learn the facts.
When something like this happens in Hollywood, I mean in Los Angeles, they're not new to high-profile cases like this where the media just kind of swarms, and you can already sense that this is going to happen in this case as well. Does the media have a big impact on a case like this? Do we have cameras? Do we not have it? It's stuff like that.
It is stuff like that, and those are exactly the reasons that those are such important questions. Sure. And what the office will say, and what actually everybody will say, is to wait until we learn more so as not to compromise an ongoing investigation. We're saying that, by the way, sadly, the week before Christmas, with a couple of different cases all across the country, that we have to let law enforcement do their job and then just wait patiently. But you are correct that when you have Hollywood intrigue, we're going to learn more about it quicker, no doubt.
We'll learn about it quicker, but do they have like special circumstances or special ways that they handle cases like this when celebrities are involved?
The interesting answer, Shelley, is no. All cases are very well investigated and put together. We just are learning about them faster and paying more attention to them when celebrities are involved. That's why I always say, you know, this case is a Hollywood heartbreak story with very practical implications about what the dynamics, sadly, of families across the nation.
What would be a time frame for a case like this? Would it be something that gets resolved quickly, or would it get drawn out over years?
It'll depend on whether or not it's something that's headed towards some kind of a plea of guilty, or whether or not it's headed towards trial. Cases that are headed towards trial, they take a lot more time to pput together, and there are court hearings, and we learn more as we go along. We don't know here yet, but no doubt after today, we may have a better idea of the timeline. There'll probably be a press conference that'll answer some of those questions for us.
Unbelievable. Just such a loss.
Our hearts and prayers are with that community and with that family, no doubt.
Unbelievable. Wendy Patrick, we thank you as always.